What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in the channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll go ahead and show them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity. It is myself and ChatGPT as my AI co-host, and we dive into a wide range of topics in short-form videos just like these. So check it out. Links in the description below, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, we have not done a answering your Splinterlands comments and questions video in a bit, so let's go ahead and just dive right in. First up, we got Jobby Saints Filipino represent watching as I wake up Monday morning. So I was doing a little bit of a shout out during the live stream to the Filipino community. Thanks, Jobby Saints. Appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. Nicola saying math is merciless to the video where I went into the math of going all in on a new set. In this case, I was talking about obviously the California set, Carne Asada set, whatever you want to call it. But you could also backdate this to Rebellion. I'm not saying to go into Rebellion now because obviously we missed the boat, but hindsight, we get to study what it looks like. Now, what's interesting here, I'm not even, guys, whenever you see these, I have no idea what they are. I'm assuming they're spam, but I'm starting to get more of these comments, which means that I must have made it. I don't know. I'm just going to report them. So these are the ones that kind of give a seed phrase in there. I would highly recommend not messing with that because that might do something crazy to you. So let's go ahead and hide user from the channel. And there's another one here. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Okay. So Last Hope says you forgot about the airdrops you get if you buy the set. That's another fantastic thing in my video about going all in on a set. So another reason, even more so. Gary says, nailed it. I also voted to also changed my vote to keep rewards after yesterday's down haul. Have to remember the game is very young, but it's a lot of fun to play. And with a bit of effort on DC's side, Double Coconut, it could be awesome. They were too slow to react, but we have their attention now. It's time to let them fix stuff. I agree. I mean, we got their attention. That's what we needed to do. Let's go ahead and give them another shot here. And if it still continues to be bad, this is what I'm trying to get at here. If it's still bad in like 6 months to a year from now, then we can make a change. And guess what? The bull run will probably be over by then. And making massive sweeping changes at that point, I'll be okay with. Right now, it doesn't make sense to make massive sweeping changes when we're on the cusp of Bitcoin setting new all-time highs every day. All right, so Yvonne says, great, go buy it in terms of the new set. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Jedi Elf says, there's also the value of and surplus airdrops. Yep, okay, so multiple people called that out. Thank you. Wangmaster says, great video on topic. I've been thinking about this recently. Cheers. Okay, so cool. I mean, this is what I'm saying. There are folks that are thinking through the same thing. Again, I'm still in a very... what do we want to call it? Like a hovering pattern right now, right? I'm just pacing, I'm hovering, I'm trying to see how this market is going to play out. Obviously, Bitcoin is starting to do well. We're even seeing SPS start to do well, close to a penny at this point. I just put a video out about that. And the higher these prices go, I think it will not just impact future sets, but also the current set, Rebellion. All right, International Travel Channel and Snowballs, thank you for the comment. Appreciate you. Genming, I hope I'm saying that right. If your aim is on profit, then it doesn't make sense. If you think SPS is going up, then just buy SPS instead of buying the new set. You save time and you probably earn more. The value of the new set is only valid until it gets moved to Wild, after which you have to pay to play it in Wild, so I wouldn't even use 3 years to calculate. Okay, so see, this is a perfect example, Genming, and I'm not calling you out, I'm not saying anything negative, but you're an investor, right? You're not a player. You don't get value, entertainment, and utility out of playing. This video is not, or that video was not for you, right? You want to make money? Buy SPS, right? Again, not financial advice, but if you want to make money and you're not worried about the game and the value, whatever, like buy SPS, buy any other crypto token, right? I mean, I personally think the only thing that you should be buying really from an investment standpoint is Bitcoin, but this is not financial advice. I'm talking about the people that want to play the game, that like the game for what it is, and are worried about potentially recouping the costs. Or maybe they're not even worried. I'm trying to show them that you can actually recoup your costs. You might be willing to pay this. Some players might be willing to pay it already just because they have the capital to do so. But now it's like a cherry on top that they're able to recoup their costs and essentially play the game for free in certain areas. So yes, and you disclaimed your comment perfectly. If your aim is profit, then it doesn't make sense. But that's not what I was getting at. I'm not looking here at profit. I was simply looking at people who want to play the game at the highest levels because they like playing the game, right? Which you may not be, and that's totally cool. That video was for them. Brave Tofu, thank you so much for the comment here. I can't tell. Is that a cat in a box emoji? Pretty cool. Okay. Aaron Baker says, I'm trying to create a machine that buys my cards for me. Right now, it is spitting out over 9,400 grain per hour. Every day, I can sell it and buy cards or packs with it. Wow, that's a lot of grain coming through. But go for it, man. I mean, if you can figure it out, buy some cards and packs. And I don't know exactly what you're trying to accomplish here. Or is it just random cards and packs, or are there specific things you're trying to build? Let me know more. All right, Coldass says, so are you trying to say that Clay overreacted by putting out the proposal? Well, let me just address that first. I mean, Clay is not the one. I'm not putting this on Clay. Clay is listening to the community. Community asked him to do so, and he did it. So this is not about Clay's emotional state in any of this. Clay was simply listening to the community. And as I said in the video, I think the community did the right thing. You had to get Double Coconut's attention. But now that they've come on, they've done an emergency downhaul. You saw David's response there. Let's take the temperature down a little bit, right? Like, doing the proposal was a good thing. I'm not against putting out the proposal. What I am against now is confirming it and enacting it, right? With the actions that we've seen, with the response that we've seen from Double Coconut. I just think DC should have done these measures way before it got to this point in the proposals. I don't disagree. AK SPS per day with what investment? LOL, is it the same as those who play in the top tier Splinterlands leagues? If not, then there's an issue, and that's why the DAO is voting to stop rewards here. Again, see, this is what I'm trying to get at, though. Anybody could do it. This is not gated to people, or people are not gated from doing it. It's just nobody wants to do the work. You had one or two people that wanted to go and play the game and figured it out, and it was all within terms of service for what they were trying to do. And I'm sure maybe some people will disagree with that. So I don't want to. I'm probably speaking out of turn, but just from my understanding, right, they played within whatever the game parameters were. And if anything, it sounds like with the downhaul, they've been quite collaborative with the Double Coconut team to try to figure out, like, hey, yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you what my experience is because, a lot of people are upset with what I'm doing, and we should find a way to make the game better. All right, Banana says, I'm done paying that much for cards in a game, but I've done it multiple times before, so I'm not saying it's stupid or anything. I'm trying to buy some more Rebellion packs lately, but nothing crazy. I'm not sure I'll have much money to throw at Cornflake Arcadia. Nice. All right, Tails says, copy and paste on my comments from the down hall. Deliberately exploiting game loopholes are generally against terms of service anywhere else in Web3 and results in bans. The correct action is to notify the team of the exploit and the team subsequently to fix the exploit. The SPL ecosystem continues to give free passes to exploiters and cheaters with no repercussions to those who are essentially stealing. If you, as a dev, aren't going to be a good steward of the reward funds entrusted to your care and not monitor for exploits in a very small user base and not respond to timely community calls for concerns, then at a minimum, the rewards distributed need to be reduced. This doesn't even touch upon the issue of DC removing SPSA requirements on day one. Okay, well, you're throwing in a lot of stuff here. Now, I know that there was an exploit potentially with the soul boxes. I don't know how that plays into this. So if there was a legitimate exploit, again, I'm not following this fully. All I'm saying, and I'm saying this inclusively of everything you just mentioned, Tails, even with all of that, I think it is a little premature to remove the rewards and be super punitive with the game. Yes, bad things happened, but what we're doing here is we're punishing players that actually like to play the game. Or what you're saying is that we should punish players that actually like to play the game, and we should punish the game for not fixing the errors sooner. And again, I'm not against taking action. I'm not saying that Double Coconut or this player is innocent, right? I go back to his comment. You're throwing out the baby with the bathwater here, right? If we're gonna nerf this game entirely in the beginning because there were a couple of bad actors and some incompetence from the team, well then what are we doing, right? We're not sure. Could things have been better? I mean, we want it to succeed, right? This needs to be, in my opinion, the flagship for another company, game studio, project being able to build on top of a robust Splinterlands ecosystem. and collaborate with the DAO, right? Another organization outside of Splinterlands, right? The company, Steam Monsters. So again, I would say we should be finding ways to extend olive branches and figure this out. Put whatever punishments you need to put, but this shouldn't be like a permanent thing where it's just like, burn it all down and, maybe someone else will try again in the future. I think if you burn it all down, nobody's going to try again. All right. Secret Flesh says Gladius cards should be unbound, 20% to burn more DEC. Nah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a need for it, at least not yet. But hopefully if they put out a new Gladiator set, which that could be a while down the road. So maybe. All right. Bolt says, I'm sorry, Soulkeep, no refunds. And now we will have to go our separate ways. All right. So a lot of people feel differently about Soulkeep, and that's fine. Bitcoin Flood says the main issue is that they are way too slow to make any adjustments. People stopped playing early because of how the leaderboard reward were. And I have to be honest, I stopped caring about it as well. Nothing like spending $500 and you can't win a single SPS, mainly because 1 to 2 cards are so OP. And I wasn't lucky enough to get either. The game's pretty busted, honestly. The rewards are abused, and I see nothing really changing. To me, the game's been very slow, utter failure, which I hate to say because I really wanted these side games to do well, like Splinterlands. But every game launched outside of Splinterlands has failed in a massive way. This is even talking about GLX and Moon cards. Like, what is even going on? So a very easy fix would have been to allow all people playing to earn at least some rewards, which would change each day based on the number of players. At least there would have been something. They have had months to fix this, and as far as I could tell, did nothing. Well, okay, so again, I'm not going to disagree with you that a lot of the projects that have started outside of Splinterlands have been very slow, utter failures, in your words. I'm not going to disagree with that. It's been quite disappointing. I would say, though, of all the projects out there, Double Coconut, even with their slowness, is consistently making updates, right? I see that the Soulkeep update thing going on every once, there's new messages there every once in a while, which I'll go and check out. But again, the game's been out for 6 months or less than a year at this point, and I think that we're being a little premature with this. If it was something different and, there was like a massive like exploit, and we were talking about like hundreds of millions of SPS and things like that, sure, I would say like, yeah, we need to take immediate action. The sell pressure from what's happening in Soulkeep is not even being felt by the marketplace. And I don't know what the top person who's earning 8,000, what are they even doing with it? Are they selling it? Or are they holding it? Like what's the deal here, right? Hopefully they'll be holding it because they need to hold it for the, staking requirements that were set to go in the near future. Actually, I think they went live already. But yeah, I don't know. It's, again, I'm making a very strong opinion here on something that I'm not as informed about, right? And I know that I'm not in the nitty-gritty details, so I'm trying to give you guys that bias and that disclaimer, right? I'll wear it on my sleeve. All I'm saying is, like, even with all that, even with all of the blemishes and everything, I still think it's too early to be pulling the plug on this. Again, just my opinion. Joffrey wants me to take a NyQuil. Awesome. Mitch says, the first month I was finishing daily game, finishing all the waves, and I was still getting like 0.5 SPS. The way it's set up, the game can only support like 10 people, which went thousands of SPS. Thousands of SPS. I've been playing, so I don't know. International Travel Channel, thank you for the comments. Bitcoin Sig says, I agree, it's short-sighted and it's a death knell for any future collaborative games based off Splinterlands IP. Furthermore, I think a lot of people don't think about the fact that the SPS emissions are supposed to be given away anyway. It's not like you are increasing the price. The distribution is 5 years. If it passes, they should go to Arcade Colony for reward tokens, though unfortunately, it would only work to make make the dev team abandon the game. Yeah, that's my concern, right? We should be parading this around in 2025 as a game that's built on the Splinterlands ecosystem. Because here's a fantasy scenario, and I'm recognizing from the start that it is a fantasy scenario. If next year ends up being a crazy year for crypto, Bitcoin, crypto gaming specifically, I'm imagining a world in which SPS is reaching numbers that would surprise even me and many of the folks here. And us getting into a position where games see, like when they come in and they check out Splinterlands, they see that Soulkeep is built on top of the ecosystem. And that potentially inspires other projects, other games, other developers to start doing more, right? Because if the goal is to bring new people into the space, those new people are going to have all kinds of backgrounds and abilities, right? Think about Axler Twinblade, right? For example, I mean, he did so much for the community with, building out Baron's Toolbox. Imagine us getting like 5 more Axlers, but you can think of Axler, you could think of who's the guy who did Yixin, right? Golem Overlord. You can think of a bunch of people, but imagine that multiplied by however much the team can bring in. If the game is successful, SPS is in the tens of cents, right? For example, and you have dozens of people coming in. Hopefully you have like hundreds or thousands of people coming in, but there's dozens of folks that have that technical background that want to build something and see the Splinterlands ecosystem as something that is worthwhile to build on top of. That's what we want. We don't want there to be this history of like the DAO being super antagonistic with games, voting down Splinter Royale and then, not being a collaborative partner here. Again, I'm not saying a collaborative partner means we roll over and take it. It's very important that the DAO did what it did to get David's attention. But at this point, I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but that's just my thought on it. All right, so Snowball says, I believe there's an exploit where the people at the top bought loads of soul boxes to advance to the top leagues, not just the one box you're supposed to be able to buy per day. Now nobody can catch them. They get nearly all SPS rewards. I do think the game should have rewards, but it needs fixing from how it is now. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense based on what I was listening to in the down hall. I just listened down hall. This really needs hearing before voting. It sounds like Double Code are going to correct the exploits anyway and have season resets. They're also turning off the SPS. Okay, so and it sounded like the person who committed this stuff was in the chat, right? Again, I didn't watch it live, but it sounded like they were in the chat and they're in communication with what's going on. Let's work with people, right? Yes, it was an exploit. Maybe it was against terms of service. I know you're going to look at this and say, well, it shows bad character and therefore we should just completely ban this person. And there's a part of me that says that you're not incorrect on that. But there's another part of me that says, like, again, not to give free passes out for stuff, but we should be in a position where we're trying to like build collaborative partnerships here, both with the dev or the team, as well as with the community of players that's playing the game. So Banana says, I switched my vote and I'm voting to keep rewards as well. Now that Double Coconut is saying that they'll halt the rewards and figure out the rewards and maybe even reset everything. While it would be annoying in some ways to start over again, it's one of the only things that makes sense. Even if it were for the glitches in the farming, they also moved the goalposts a few times and then they introduced soul boxes, a way to progress more or less months into it. It's just been a bit of a disaster. So starting it over simply makes sense. I just worry that now that it's on the DAO's radar, it's going to be harder to get the rewards back. I do play the game and pay pretty close attention to it on Discord and everything. It really was a problem that needed to be addressed a long time ago. So I get why the proposal had to happen, but I hope it can all work out if DC does what it says they're going to do. Yeah, same. Again, I'm not against the proposal being put forth. It accomplished its goal, and hopefully we can move forward from there. All right, how much time are we at? We're at 18 minutes already. Okay, let's go ahead and do maybe 1 or 2 more, and then we'll wrap up. So Ethical Hacks Only says, Splinterlands and Golem Overload both bring attention to Hive. Definitely wish they would pass the marketing proposal. Well, we did pass the marketing proposal for, I think you're talking about the Hive proposal, and we're getting money, and we brought on Blaze, so hopefully that'll be good. Charles says, so far I'm currently on level 4, but still can't break the top 20 for rewards. It's the same people over and over who's getting the rewards, just saying they don't even have to try. Damn dude, didn't know you were still around. Bull Run 2025. Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll go ahead and end it here, and then I'll make sure to start doing more of these throughout the upcoming week so I can catch up on some of these comments. But thank you so much for everybody who left them. We'll get to the next ones in the next video. But I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.